Back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com. Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket sports news go now.
I'm Enrique Alvarez-Clary. Coming off a win against Buffalo, the Nebraska football team sets their sights on number 3 Oklahoma. Head coach Scott Frost spoke yesterday about their upcoming opponent.
It's a talented team. Wow, you turn it on and the speed just pops out right away. Every position, the size and speed of the guys. So really encouraging our guys to execute the same way we have been and improve that, but try to do it at absolute fast as possible because I know the speed of Oklahoma is going to be a little different than what we've seen the last couple weeks.
The Huskers and the Sooners kick off at 11 a.m. on Saturday as the big noon game on Fox. The 6th-ranked Nebraska volleyball team will play the 16th-ranked Stanford Cardinal today out in California. This is the 3rd straight top 20 matchup for the Huskers. First serve is scheduled for 7 p.m. on Pac-12 Network and will be carried on the Huskers Radio Network. Monday Night Football saw the Las Vegas Raiders take down the Baltimore Ravens 33-27 in overtime. The Raiders scored 17 points in the fourth quarter, including a 55-yard field goal with 2 seconds remaining to force OT. Next up for the NFL, a Thursday night matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington football team. For all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez-Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainer, Enrique Alvarez-Clary with you. Hello, Rico. I cannot hear you.
Hello.
There it is. How are we doing?
Program off. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Happy Tuesday. As always, 402.
4 more days.
Yeah, we're very excited. 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Both those are open for you all show long, as always, as well as on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. We can throw your comment up on the screen, so make sure you head over there and see our smiling faces. As always, we have to get to this first.
First things first. The streak is over.
It is.
The streak is over. I'm sorry for person who will not be named.
And it's a text fight.
But it will kind of be named. Rubber Duck from LinkedIn, first texter of the day for the Happy Hour, says, first, get out, Cubsker.
Text fight.
Text fight. We have caller combat. I don't think we have a text fight sounder, but
that's okay.
It's fine. Rubber Duck from LinkedIn, congratulations. You are today's winner of nothing.
So congratulations, Rubber Duck from LinkedIn. We'll find out tomorrow who the winner of nothing is. Matt, you came in just a couple seconds too late.
Just missed it.
But, I decided to give you a shout out anyway. So what do we have planned for today, you ask? We're going to finally get to some NFL stuff from over the weekend. Jameis Winston had a good interview that we'll play here in a second. Also, I think Carson Wentz is going to do okay in Indianapolis.
Dude, Carson Wentz.
I really like his fit in Indianapolis.
Carson Wentz and Jameis Winston have all the talent in the world. They're both extremely talented quarterbacks. Jameis Winston couldn't see, so that was his problem. He had laser eye surgery, and now look at him. And then Carson Wentz just needs to stay healthy. Like, if Carson Wentz is healthy, he is an amazing quarterback. The problem is his body just decides to quit on him at random times. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
Yeah, and with Carson Wentz in Indianapolis, the offensive line is, despite not doing well on Sunday necessarily, they're going to be good. So
much better than the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Indianapolis is going to be a dark horse team to watch down the road. Just with Carson Wentz, he has a lot of weapons around him, in Pascal and Michael. Michael Pittman Jr. Thank you.
There
and
you
then once T.Y. Hilton comes back, I really like Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield. His pass catching has really improved since he came from Wisconsin. And then you also have Hines, that's more of the pass catching running back.
Naheem.
Yes, out of the backfield for Indianapolis.
I did not think that Jonathan. Look, I thought Jonathan Taylor would be a good pro, but I didn't think he'd be this good because he ran a lot at Wisconsin. So I was like, he's got a lot less tread on his tires than some other, rookie or second year running backs, but he's showing out. I really like it.
Yeah, no.
Plus, like you said, he has a fantastic offensive line in Indianapolis.
Yeah, no, Jonathan Taylor is a really good running back. He's kind of cemented himself into, just in the first 2 years, I would not be shy to say he's a top 10 back in the league going into this season. With the situation around him, I would say it would be tough for me to find 10 running backs that are better than Jonathan Taylor.
Like, top 10 running back in the league would be, you can put him into any situation and he will succeed.
Okay, so
I don't know if that is true with Jonathan Taylor. I think you need a pretty solid offensive line for Jonathan Taylor to get going.
So
I think he's more of a
yeah,
probably. Yeah. I think he's more of a, he's going to hit you for a couple yards in the first couple quarters, and then come third and fourth quarter, after, he just keeps running into you and the offensive line keeps running into you and knocking you down, you get tired. That's when he starts breaking his big ones. I don't think he's a home run hitter in the first quarter.
Rico, last night, did you watch
I did not watch Peyton and Eli.
I did not either.
I should have.
I wasn't too interested. What I was going to ask is, did you watch the game though?
Yes.
Which
I watched the game while I was playing on the PS5. I had my phone next to me,
PS5.
And one of my friends from Alabama is a huge Ravens fan.
Okay.
And he was on a little bit of a delay. So it was me and like three other dudes. They were playing 2K. Two of them were from Alabama. One's from New York. The two from Alabama, one is a big Ravens fan. The other one was watching the game too. He was ahead of me and the other friend. So I would just hear him go, oh no. And this is towards the end of the game. And I was like, stop, don't say anything. He goes, okay. And then the Raiders, because the Ravens had kicked the field goal. And I was like, jokingly, I said, they left too much time on the clock for Derek Carr and the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, they kicked the 55-yard field goal.
Oh my goodness.
To tie the game and send it to overtime. And then the Raiders get the ball first. They get to the goal line and false start on themselves on a hard count. They hard count themselves, and then they throw the ball. Derek Carr throws the ball right through Hunter Renfro's hands.
Yes.
He made the triangle like you're supposed to when you catch it. He's wearing gloves.
Went right through
goes straight through his hands, hits a Ravens defender in the face, bounces up. Ravens get the ball, and then they can't do anything with it. Lamar Jackson gets sacked and fumbles it. Yeah. And then the Raiders are just like, we're just going to kick a field goal.
Which, speaking of just the Raiders defense in general, last night was the first game that and this just might be a personal problem, that I really noticed Max Crosby for Las Vegas coming off the edge. That guy was a force last night. Even him just paired with the rest of the Raiders defense was good enough to get it done against Ravens offense that, frankly, when Lamar Jackson runs, is as dangerous as any of them, but they're just so injured.
You know what so people rag on Lamar Jackson's passing, but if you watch the game last night, you understand he has no time.
Yeah.
He has to run. They got Villanueva from Pittsburgh.
Villanueva got beat bad a couple times.
In Pittsburgh, he was a great right tackle, but for some reason, I mean, he's older, obviously, so that's one reason. but he's just getting bull rushed by Carl Nassib
Yeah.
and
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby. They're just pushing him back. They're getting right under his pads and just shoving him back into Lamar Jackson's lap. And Lamar's having to twist and turn and go every which way. But those two, Nassib and Crosby combined, like on the edges, like that is a great duo.
Well, and they can put a guy like Crosby, whether he's on one side or the other side. So you have to make sure. And that's one of the times that Villanueva got beat bad. Like he got torched last night was they put Crosby on the right side and Villanueva at the right tackle position just went right into the defensive tackle. And they kind of 2-on-1 the D tackle. And Max Crosby was like, oh, okay. I'll just go to Lamar Jackson, I guess. And that's what happened. And so Max Crosby looked really good last night. The Raiders, I don't know if they're necessarily good. I would not say that they're better than the Ravens. However, the crowd, I think, wow.
I think Oakland's defense is pretty solid.
Really?
Like, I think mostly just because of their pass rush, I believe that their defense is going to be what carries them. And Derek Carr is accurate. I don't know if I would take him as my quarterback, but he's really accurate.
That was a really good final drive.
And he has a bunch of weapons around him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying their offense is very good, especially with an injured Josh Jacobs, but you have Darren Waller, you've got Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow. You've got a lot of Willie Snead, as somebody on the text line told me that it was Willie Snead in the end zone, not Renfrow. But you've got a lot of weapons around Derek Carr. It's kind of like the Cleveland Browns, where the offense is really good, but the quarterback is probably what's going to be holding them back. But I like the Raiders defense. And I think if they can rely on their defense mostly and their running game, as soon as Josh Jacobs gets back to 100%, he was limping around. He couldn't really run all that well last night.
Yeah.
They're going to be a pretty good team. I can see them finishing second in the AFC West.
I think the Chargers are going to
I think the Chargers are overrated.
But no, and in terms of the running back room, yes, Josh Jacobs is a big loss, but then they went out and got Kenyon Drake, which helps in the meantime. So, what a game though last night. What an awesome game. Raiders kept coming back. Ravens kept pulling ahead, and it was just such a good game. The perfect Monday night game, because people make fun of, they always have bad matchups on Thursday and Monday nights.
Yep.
And last night was something that it fit perfect into end week one of the regular season.
Yes, it was. You had the perfect first game of the NFL season with the Cowboys and the Bucks with fireworks.
Yeah.
And then you had the perfect end of the first week of the season with kind of a sloppy game, but tons of excitement all in the moment.
Yeah, and I really want to go to a game in Vegas now.
Dude, that stadium looks amazing.
Like there's a part of me that just is like, I need to make it to Vegas next year and go to a game. So
look, man, just have Nebraska go to the Vegas Bowl this year, and
Vegas
we
Bowl.
can all go.
Of course, that's simple. Husker volleyball. I want to mention this before we dive into Husker football. Husker volleyball plays tonight. They have to bounce back from Utah, who Utah lost to BYU in 4 sets the other day.
I thought it was Boise.
Or Boise State, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boise State the other day in 4 sets. One of the biggest wins in Boise's recent history was being able to knock off Utah.
Utah went from ranked 20th, reverse sweeping Nebraska, to rank 10th, and then losing to an unranked Boise State team in Boise in front of like 400 fans.
Yeah, it looked like a high school gym.
There was not a lot of people there.
So Nebraska,
Utah went from 20 to 10
to probably
back
20.
to 20.
Yeah. So Nebraska has to try to bounce back at Stanford tonight, which is going to be a very good game. Obviously, Nebraska and Stanford, 2 of the better programs in the country.
Do you know Nebraska, Stanford, and Kentucky have won the last 6 national championships? The last 6 national championships has been those 3. Granted, Kentucky was just the one. Nebraska 2, Stanford 3.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I remember going to a Husker Stanford game a couple years back when Stanford came in and they were ranked 3rd and Nebraska was ranked 2nd at the Devaney, and
where it was like 6
Stanford,
of the last 8.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, there's just really good sense of competition between these two teams, and you know what you're going to get from Nebraska. I actually expect Nebraska to do pretty well against Stanford last night because you don't want to deal with a John Cook squad after a loss.
Looking forward to a win.
Exactly. So make sure you tune in tonight for Nebraska volleyball at Stanford. Rico, today, Travis Fisher and this is where I want to get your guys' thoughts. We talked about it yesterday, and we'll dive into it again today. 402-464-5685. Nebraska, they, like I said yesterday, let me just reiterate this.
Mm-hmm.
I would not feel as good about staying competitive in this game if Nebraska's offense was better than their defense. Nebraska's defense is something that's going to keep Nebraska in this game, and that's obvious. And maybe some people will say, Nebraska needs to run the ball, which they do. And I was thinking about this morning. Maybe part of Nebraska's idea to stick with the running game in Buffalo during Buffalo's game, despite it not really being successful or as successful as they'd like, is it puts stuff on tape for Oklahoma to see. That they have to respect the idea that Nebraska's still going to commit to the run when it doesn't work, if that makes sense.
It does. I don't see that. I think they committed.
Then in that case, if they just committed with it and stayed with it, then that's what Nebraska fans want to see.
Well, I think they committed to it and stayed with it against Buffalo because they want it to work. It wasn't working, but it was also not a practice. But it was, we have to work on this. We have to get better at this. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep doing this until we get it right. So it's in a way, it's them working on the running game, working on the blocking schemes and everything to break something big. But against Oklahoma, I think committing to the running game and playing keep away from Oklahoma's offense might be the way to go. I mean, Nebraska's defense is going to carry them in this game if they have any hope of winning or keeping it close. They're going to have to rely on the defense. And in order to help the defense, the offense is going to have to hold on to the ball for a longer amount of time. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you score quick, that's fine. The defense won't care. But if you turn it over quick, or if you go 3 and out quick, that's a problem because you're throwing the defense back out there in a situation where they maybe they just got to stop and they were excited to get off the field and get some rest, talk about what they saw, talk about what they need to work on, and all of a sudden they have to run back out on the field. If you can keep the ball for extended periods of time, extend the drives, even if you don't score, just give your defense some more time to rest. That would be ideal. That would be the ideal situation for this Husker football team because this defense, like I said, is going to carry them and it's going to attempt to stop this Oklahoma offense. The Oklahoma's running game is not great. Mm-hmm. So you're still obviously going to have to respect it because, they will still try to run the ball. They're not just going to give up on it right away. They're still going to try to run the ball. But what you have to fear is the wide receivers, the speed they have on the outside, and Spencer Rattler's arm. He is deadly accurate, and he's got a really good arm.
That's a very good point. I'm glad we can make that transition to Spencer Rattler here. Shenander was asked today, a lot of the Husker assistants talked today, whether it was Shenander or Travis Fisher. We'll hear from both of those here in a second. Shenander talked today about just his overall thoughts on Oklahoma, and he mentioned Spencer Rattler quite a bit. But this is what the first question when he was asked, just what kind of challenge are they walking into with Oklahoma? And so,
I mean, it's a really good offense. I mean, across the board, they got a lot of experience, and then the new guys they have are really good football players. A lot of returning starters and/or transfers. Really good quarterback that can run the ball. He can make all the throws. Running back, they got one guy that'll put his foot in the ground and try to run you over, and another guy that'll bounce it all around. Speed on the perimeter, and an experienced offensive line. So it's going to be a very good test for the defense. It's going to be a fun game.
So he mentioned the one running back that can really put his foot in the ground and go uphill. That's Kennedy Brooks, which you'll hear his name quite a bit on Saturday. But speaking more about Rattler,
I'm going to push back on Shenander. I'm not saying I know more than Shenander, but I'm going to push back on one thing he said.
I know what you're going to say, the running stats, because you're a big stats guy. Here's what I'm going to say, though, also, is Spencer Rattler, then Shenander also was asked more specifically about Spencer Rattler. And here's an interesting part, is he brought up Adrian Martinez and the things that Adrian Martinez does in practice to the same Nebraska defense that Rattler is going to say. And here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I think, Adrian has the ability also to pull the ball and make a lot of things happen, as we've seen through the first few games. And he does that in practice. So I think that gives us a good look at a guy that can, manipulate the football pretty well. Some of those guys will show you if they're giving it or show you if they're keeping it. Adrian can manipulate the ball pretty well, and that gives us a really good look at things in practice.
So I'll go ahead and let you push back on Shenander
Again,
here.
I'm not claiming to know more than Shenander. I'm not claiming to try to tell him how to do his job or anything like that. He watches way more tape than me. He's the defensive coordinator at Division I level Power 5 school for a reason. But when he said that Spencer Rattler can run the ball, probably he might be able to run the ball. I haven't really watched much Oklahoma, but statistically, either he doesn't want to or Oklahoma doesn't want him to, because last season was his best. He's been a starter for 2 years. Last season was his best statistical rushing year. Granted, this season just started. He had 81 attempts rushing for 160 yards. That's 2 yards and for 2-yard average, 6 touchdowns, a long of 25. Again, I'm not saying I know more than him, but I don't think Spencer Rattler wants to run the ball. I think he wants to stay in the pocket. I think what I'm going to get from that when he says that he can move and he can run is that he can manipulate the pocket. If the pocket breaks down, he can make plays with his legs to stay alive under pressure and then get the ball down the field. I don't think you're going to see Spencer Rattler tuck it and run very much.
Well, I guess obviously Oklahoma's offense is, when put up next to Nebraska's, is better. Oklahoma has the better quality offense. No, there's no shying away from that. Everybody knows that going into Saturday. I understand it as I look at Spencer Rattler's rushing stats, and I say maybe it's because they don't need him to run.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily they don't want him to, but they don't need him to.
I mean, he's still under pressure. I mean, he got sacked twice against Tulane. He still didn't run much.
Yes, but the way I look at it also is if you're relating it to Nebraska, if Nebraska had the weapons that Oklahoma has around Adrian Martinez, if they had a Hazelwood on the edge at wide receiver and you had a running back like Kennedy Brooks, where he was an established running back, and a strong offensive line, which Nebraska has not had in the first 3 games of their season, I think Nebraska fans would be concerned or curious as to why Adrian would be running the ball 20 plus times, despite that being one of his strongest suits. Spencer Rattler, if you're Lincoln Riley, there's a serious chance that Oklahoma just doesn't need Spencer Rattler to run the football.
Okay, I get that. I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, if Nebraska had all those weapons and that offensive line, I still think they would take advantage of Adrian Martinez's legs, because that would add another fold to your offense. That would add something else where they have to keep a linebacker into spy. Just in like you have the good offensive line, he has plenty of time back there. You still have a linebacker that has to stay there, because guess what? Adrian can run. I have not watched many Oklahoma games. I don't know how great of a runner Spencer Rattler is, but based on the stats that I've been looking at, he doesn't run much. Maybe they don't need him to run. Maybe he just doesn't want to run, but I don't think you're going to need a spy to stay on him. I think, the pass rush and just staying within your lanes would be enough to keep him contained. And I think he wants to pass the ball. He doesn't want to run the ball. But if you had if Adrian Martinez was a quarterback for Oklahoma, and let's say, he's doing as well as he is now, he has all those weapons at offensive line, I think Oklahoma still runs him, because they did the same thing with Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts. They still ran their quarterbacks, and they had all that talent.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray is probably a better running quarterback, especially Kyler Murray is a better running quarterback than Spencer Rattler is. Okay, let's flip the script, because we have a couple minutes left in this segment here, about 2.5 minutes before we get to break, and we'll pick this up on the other side. How confident are we in Adrian going up against an Oklahoma defense like this with how well he's playing? Because now this idea of, after the Illinois game, it was bench Martinez, bring in Logan Smothers. This season's a wash. We're done. Bring in Logan Smothers or Heinrich Harburg, whichever boat you're on there. Then after Fordham and Buffalo, which I brought up, and I can bring up the stats again if we need to, Adrian's performance was not bad in the Illinois game. There were a lot of factors outside of what Adrian can control.
It's the fumble.
That's
all anybody remembers.
It's the fumble and the pass in the end zone to Lever, who, if you can be on either side of it there, to where Lever should have caught it, even though it was not an accurate pass, or Adrian needed to make a better throw, whichever side of the boat you're on there. But going into Oklahoma, a defense that, yes, they're going to be okay. And Alex Grinch, Scott Frost talked about him the other day. He can manipulate and show different packages really, really well. And he's a really good defensive coordinator. Scott Frost alluded to that yesterday, and we can bring that up after the break here. But I'm not concerned about Adrian Martinez throwing the ball or just having a good performance against this Oklahoma defense. Not only because of what we've seen yes, it's because of what we've seen the last 3 weeks, what his season has looked like so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that. My concern isn't him throwing the ball. My concern is him getting enough time to throw the ball, because this defense is much faster than the 3 defenses that they've faced so far. And with the lack of a solid offensive line play, I don't know how many people they're going to have to rush, how many people they will rush. But if they don't have to rush many people, if they rush 4 or they rush 3 and they get around the edges, he doesn't have enough time to throw. He can't just chuck it up to try and get it to somebody, because the speed of this defense is going to be a problem. And him running the ball is still going to be a big part of the offense come Saturday. But again, the speed of the defense is going to catch up to him. He's not going to be able to outrun everybody on this Oklahoma defense. They have dudes on this defense. So him running the ball is going to have to be another thing that helps out, but the offensive line has to play much better.
Yeah, and that was a common word in yesterday, no matter who talked. There was a lot of people that talked yesterday, was that Oklahoma just in general has a lot of speed, and we know that going into this one. And so that's going to be something for Nebraska to really make sure they control as best they can. And it's going to start up in the trenches, which for good reason may alarm you a little bit.
The inside of the offensive line I feel pretty good about. Well, okay, the right side of the offensive line I feel pretty good about. Bryce Benhart's had his spots, but that left side is a problem.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to break. We'll come back up and next.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Cooler temps with an afternoon high of around 77. Winds turning out of the northeast at 10. Gradually clearing skies tonight, a low dropping down all the way to 52. Beautiful day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and a high pushing up near 80. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is hiring. We're looking for a highly confident, driven, and energetic individual to join our team as a sales executive. You can begin your exciting career in sports radio at a locally owned independent station and work closely with our crew of on-air personalities. If you enjoy meeting new people and working with them to solve their marketing needs, this could be the job for you. Head to theticketfm.com for the complete job description and instructions on how you can apply. 93.7 The Ticket and BDP Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Brad Moline, president of Allo Communication. I'm proud to say that Allo is supporting the FCC's Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. We are committed to bringing high-quality internet to everyone in our fiber communities. If you qualify for federal support or have been financially impacted during the pandemic, you may receive free 500 megabit internet from Allo. To find out more, please stop by the Allo store or go to allofiber.com/EBB.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths and sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Aetrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Today's Husker Radio Report, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. As Nebraska gets ready for their trip out to Oklahoma, as you know, it's the 50th anniversary of the 1971 game of the century. And as Scott Frost gets his guys ready in practice, he said there'll probably be a few history lessons throughout the week.
We'll probably talk about it a little bit. This is a special rivalry. But I'm sure the guys will be inundated with it this week.
And as senior wide receiver Samori Torre said, the bottom line is this is a great opportunity for the program.
This is a huge opportunity for us, something that's been in the back of our heads all year. Big game, obviously, and we're looking forward to having a good week of practice, to get ready for it.
In injury news, Nebraska hopes to get tight ends Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek this week back, as well as wide receiver Oliver Martin, offensive lineman Brock Mando, and a number of others. Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Experiencing increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Both those are still open for you. Nick Sainert, Enrique Alvarez Clary with you here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
I made myself dizzy right there.
Faisal 5 times on the text line says, not confident in Adrian because he only hits receivers who are wide open for the most part. Probably not going to have as much separation from the DBs.
Faisal, what does he have to do?
No, I want to attack this like in this sense. Samori Toure talked to the media yesterday, and he said a lot of interesting things. I kind of talked about this yesterday, is when committing to the running game, everybody knows. If you listen to the station, almost every show will say it. Obviously if you commit to the run, it hopefully opens up the passing game and vice versa and everything like that. And this is where what I said yesterday kind of comes into play in terms of, even if the running game doesn't necessarily work for the first couple of drives, let's just say the first 2 drives. If, you go out, you have 4 running plays for, let's say 6 total yards. Let's hope not. 4 running plays for 6 total yards, and then you have a couple passing plays in there, maybe an incomplete pass or something, and you have to punt the ball your first 2 drives. I don't know if that's when you should hit the panic button. I don't know if I don't want Nebraska fans to necessarily sit there on Saturday if that happens and say, oh no, not this again. Here we go. This is gonna create a bad day for Nebraska's offense.
It depends on what happens on the other side.
Yes, that obviously plays a factor, but also just try to understand that maybe they're trying to get the Oklahoma defense to try to load the box a little bit. And Samori Toure talked about this here yesterday and how the running game kind of opens up the passing game here when the defense is forced to load the box and the receivers get one-on-one on the outside.
Yeah. I mean, we established the run, throughout the game, kind of slowly, I would say, but we established it, and then they slowly started to, load the box a little bit and play man and give us the matchups we want on the outside.
And that was a big complaint after the Illinois game, was that this staff just abandoned the running game. And yes, they did.
Just gave up on it.
And obviously, if you're down, let's hope not once again, 30 points but to Oklahoma in the third quarter, you're probably going to see a heavy dose of passing. But that's where it's even when if Nebraska's down 7-0 after the first quarter and 3/4 of their plays have been running plays and it's not worked yet,
there's a reason.
Let's hope before we hit the panic button. Let's hope that there's stuff happening that we can't necessarily see on TV. And as non-football players, we don't understand that. Hopefully, the defense eventually loads the box. Their front seven, they might throw a blitz package in there a little bit more aggressively. And that can leave receivers like Samori Toure in one-on-one coverage. If Xavier Betts is healthy, which hopefully he is, he hasn't been ruled out. We'll probably find out on Thursday. Maybe that helps out with some Xavier Betts.
Oliver Martin
should be good.
They said they were hoping he could play last week against Buffalo, which means that maybe he was close to being healthy. Just another precaution. They're like, we can hold him out for this game, get him even healthier for Oklahoma. So hopefully that means that he'll be good here. Like you said, Xavier Betts hasn't been ruled out. We don't know about Omar Manning yet. Austin Allen looked kind of like a concussion. I don't think they've said anything about it yet, but they're hoping that he can come back. Travis Vokalek, they're hoping he can come back. So it almost hopefully looks like they will have their full allotment of offensive weapons to go to against Oklahoma, which is amazing because as Eric and Lincoln says on the text line, Tulane's wide receivers were getting separation on Oklahoma's secondary.
Yeah, Oklahoma's secondary is nothing to write home about.
I'm not saying that Nebraska's wide receivers are far and away better than Tulane's wide receivers, but you would think a wide receiver at Nebraska at a Power 5 school would be better than wide receivers at a Group of 5 school. But many great wide receivers come from smaller schools. Again, not trying to talk down on anybody.
Yeah, and some of the other stuff that Samori said yesterday, he felt like the wide receiver group was well prepared over the weekend, and he talks about patience as a wide receiver as well. And here's what he had to say as just being a patient wide receiver and understanding that you're going to get yours down the road eventually if the offense is all working out together.
Let me find the patience one. Hold on. Give me a second.
But
there it is.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be patient as a receiver and as a football player in general. Obviously you want to go out there and have a bunch of catches, bunch of touchdowns, make plays, but it really just comes down to doing your job, and if you do your job every play, plays are going to find you.
I mean, that the perfect example of if you do your job, plays are going to find you. Mm-hmm. He had 2 catches against Buffalo. They were both touchdowns.
And they were also both in one-on-one man-to-man coverage.
And
he beat his dude.
He smoked his dude.
And that's where I have confidence. And just because you have Oklahoma on the front of their jersey on Saturday, I still would take Samori Toure to be able to beat Oklahoma DB in one-on-one man-to-man coverage 8 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm. And if you have your full allotment of weapons and you have Samori Toure lined up in the slot against a linebacker or a third corner, I'm taking that matchup every single day. Samori Toure is if you watch, there have been a couple camera angles where you can see his route running. The dude is masterful when running routes and getting separation. So if I can get Samori Toure on a number 3 corner or a linebacker, and people say Adrian stares down his receivers or whatever, I'm staring that down. I'm staring that matchup down right away.
And I guess this would be a good place to put this in there. 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Sutter Heyman text line. How relieving is it that a Husker football transfer at a skill position
is working out?
2
of them.
Yes.
I'm going to say Marquis Stepp is working out pretty well.
Yeah, but you don't know week in and week out if Marquis Stepp is going to be able to make a difference.
He scored a touchdown in the first game. He had 100 yards in the second game, and then I don't know why he didn't play in the second half.
Go. Exactly. So
but he was playing well.
Sticking with Samori Toure, it's just a breath of fresh air. It's relieving that Samori's actually working out, because you hear everything and he's everything that we heard him that he was supposed to be. But as Nebraska fans, I mean, you guys know this. You can't always hear or you can't always trust what you hear.
Skepticism is abound when talking about what you're hearing coming out of practice.
But it's like, how many times, and think in recent years here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, as always, how many times have we heard over the offseason that Nebraska's hit a home run on the transfer market and then it just falls short? Like, specifically at the wide receiver position, the first name that comes to my mind is Conavai Noah.
I don't know if anybody ever said he was going to be a home run. They said he was going to be veteran leadership, and he was pretty good in the Pac-12.
And I don't remember he was going to be a red zone threat.
Well, they didn't throw it in the red zone.
There you go. And
didn't get to the red zone much.
That's a good point, I suppose. But either way, I mean,
I get what you're saying.
Conavai Noah did not work out. To this point, I mean, Diedrich, they just didn't give him the chance, I suppose.
I would say Mills. I would say Mills did work out.
It worked out, but it wasn't the home run that we were expecting.
Well, when you ran the ball, it worked out.
Greg Bell did not work.
He transferred again.
It was after 2 games. It didn't work out. It did not work out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they transfer. Like, I'm just saying, it does not work out. And like, it was great to hear over the offseason on how Samori and Adrian were getting their reps, and yeah, you kind of took it with a grain of salt at the time, and you're like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. And that's how a lot of people took their approach with this season in general. But now it's like, okay, they meant it. Whew. All right, it's okay. Samori Toure, a guy that we can count on week in and week out. And I guess, Samori, he kind of just controls what he can control, and Adrian somewhat does that to an extent. And whether it's the Samori in the triple option, which is a beautiful sight to see, or on a skinny post route like he was against Buffalo, Samori, I think, has become the one player, and tell me if you guys have a different thought on this. He's kind of the one player outside of Adrian Martinez that I personally fully trust each play. So not to make a stupid mistake. And part of that comes with experience. I feel like people would push
back against the Adrian one.
See,
with the fumbles and the turnover issues.
But that's just, I think the fumbles, and we talked about Adrian and the fumble problem in the preseason, or in the offseason, I guess, is that he's just a quarterback, and a running quarterback's going to get hit harder than they're used to getting hit, and they're gonna have their fumble problems.
Yeah,
you see that in the NFL as well. But so maybe there's a little bit of pushback on Adrian there, but with Samori Toure, and like I said, it comes with experience, but
you're just hoping that he gets, like, every time the ball is snapped, you're looking for Samori, and if he gets the ball, you have complete trust that it's going to work out.
There's not going to be a stupid mistake with Samori Toure.
Okay.
Like a football, he's not going to make a dumb play where you're shaking your head after it and saying, what was he thinking on that part? And maybe part of that's because he's at the wide receiver position. But
there have been some wide receivers where that is an issue.
Good point.
But it seems like for Samori Toure, at least, every time he catches the ball, he's not looking to go east and west. He's just going north, and he's just going north. He's catching the ball. He's getting upfield. Maybe he'll try and break somebody off real quick. But for the most part, as soon as he gets the ball, he's looking to go forward and get more yardage, which is great to see from a wide receiver. And I agree with you. I have complete trust in Samori Toure. If you can get the ball in his hands, I for some reason just have all the trust in the world that something good is going to happen with him. And I love the triple option wrinkle that they're throwing in with the wide receivers coming in motion and going around, and the pitch or the handoff to the running back up the middle, because that puts so much more stress on a defense, because it's okay, is the quarterback going to keep it? Is he going to hand it off to the running back in the middle? Is he going to run an option with the wide receiver? Is he going to step back to pass it and have somebody wide open down the field? Like, there's so many different things that come out of that one little wrinkle of having a wide receiver come in motion, go back and run an option with them a couple of times in front of a defense. There's so many things that'll stress a defense out.
Well, and another one of those kind of plays was Xavier Betts on the little jet toss coming across the middle. That the last time we saw that was last season. We hadn't seen that since last season.
True.
We've seen it twice under Scott Frost, and it's worked twice under Scott Frost. One was for a touchdown. The other was a 10+ yard gain. And so I just wanted to take a step back and really say how relieving it is that Samori Toure is working out. And Tim says this on the text line. I too am extremely excited that Nebraska's best player came from the FCS. Listen, man.
Look, man, that
any
was
way
just
you can get him.
Look, man, that was just a miss on everybody else's part. The fact that somebody this talented was at an FCS school and then transferred to Nebraska is just a miss on everybody else's part.
Yeah,
this guy is, like you said, he came to Nebraska because he wanted more film for his draft potential to go to the NFL. He could have gone to the NFL out of Montana. I'm sure he would have got some looks. I don't know if he would have got drafted, but he definitely would have gone. He would have been on somebody's roster practice squad in the preseason. Mm-hmm. Like the man is talented. So I'm not going to knock him for going FCS. There's plenty of talented FCS players out there. Like Ryan Greenhagen.
Very good.
If Nebraska got him, I think he'd be one of the better linebackers they have.
Yeah. Lucas says this, there's not a single player I trust to not mess up. Every play I hold my breath. Like a holding penalty on outside run. Yeah, that's just discipline. I mean, and I hate to just say, yeah, that's just just chalk it up to in that idea. But I'm not talking about the offensive line either. I'm talking about Samori Toure specifically. Just Eric and Lincoln here talking about Adrian Martinez. Have you noticed how well Adrian looks when he has more than 2 seconds to throw the ball and the play doesn't break down, forcing him to try and make a Superman play?
He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
that goes back to the offensive line, right?
It's kind of like, his freshman year when he had, I think, 3 NFL offensive linemen with him. And he had a practice squad NFL wide receiver. When he had time to throw and he could get it to his playmakers, he looked pretty good and people really liked what they were seeing. And then he hasn't had much time the last couple of years and a couple plays here and there this season, he has some time and it looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's crazy what a quarterback can do when they have time to go through their reads and step into their throw.
402-464-5685. Keep sending in your thoughts and opinions. We have about 15 minutes left. Let's take one final timeout. We'll get to the rest of your texts here on the happy hour when we come back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to Friendly Neighbors. Welcome to maintenance-free living. Welcome to Carriage Glen. Welcome home. It's everything you'd want in an active 55-plus rental community right here in Lincoln. Spacious floor plans, numerous amenities, beautiful surroundings near Holmes Lake, and much more. Plus, with Carriage Glen's current move-in special, you can save thousands if you act now. Carriage Glen invites you to take a personal tour or visit them online at carriageglenoflincoln.com. Discover the place you'll love to call home.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Today's Husker Radio Report. I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. As Nebraska gets ready for their trip out to Oklahoma. As you know, it's the 50th anniversary of the 1971 game of the century. And as Scott Frost gets his guys ready in practice, he said there'll probably be a few history lessons throughout the week.
I will probably talk about it a little bit. This is a special rivalry. But I'm sure the guys will be inundated with it this week.
And as senior wide receiver Samori Toure said, the bottom line is this is a great opportunity for the program.
This is a huge opportunity for us, something that's been in the back of our heads all year. Big game, obviously, and we're looking forward to having a good week of practice, to get ready for it.
In injury news, Nebraska hopes to get tight ends Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek this week back, as well as wide receiver Oliver Martin, offensive lineman Brock Mando, and a number of others. Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Hey guys, looking for that extra confidence when it's time to have fun? Let me tell you about BlueChew.com. BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. BlueChew tablets help men combat all forms of ED. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code TICKET at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code TICKET to receive your first month free.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
This is Brad Moline, president of Allo Communications. I'm proud to say that Allo is supporting the FCC's Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. We are committed to bringing high-quality internet to everyone in our fiber communities. If you qualify for federal support or have been financially impacted during the pandemic, you may receive free 500 megabit internet from Allo. To find out more, please stop by the Allo store or go to allofiber.com/EBB.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Join the team and call the shots. Now calling for adult and youth team sports officials for Lincoln Parks and Recreation. Officials must be at least 16 years old for youth sports and 18 years old for adult sports. Officials are paid $20 a game and are expected to be physically able to run the field or court with players for an entire game of approximately 55 minutes, work well with coaches, and have the ability to accept criticism and work well under pressure. If you'd like to be a team sports official, call 402-441-7982 to learn more, or go to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In football, Lincoln Pius was able to secure their first win of the season over Lincoln High. The Thunderbolts won the game 28-21 in double overtime. In other matchups this last week, Lincoln Northeast took care of business, beating Omaha Northwest 48-7. Lincoln Southeast won over Grant Island 17-7. Lincoln Southwest beat Omaha North 20-17. Elkhorn just got past Waverly with a final score of 14-3, and Lincoln Christian fell to Fort Calhoun 28-13. Moving to softball, on Monday, Lincoln Southwest continued their hot stretch, taking down their Class A rival Lincoln Southeast in both games, 11-3 in the first and 7-1 in the second. In Class A volleyball, Lincoln Southwest has moved up to 3 in the power rankings after beating Omaha Westside. The record now sits at 5-0. In Class B, Norris won over Elkhorn South. They currently sit with a record of 10-0. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Angry about a recent Nebraska football loss? Go throw axes at Kraft Axe Throwing. Optimistic about the upcoming Nebraska football game? Go sign up for free football tickets at Kraft Axe Throwing. Bring some friends, reserve a bay for an hour or more, release anger at the targets by hucking an axe at it, and walk away feeling better about yourselves and the football season, just in time to enter for a chance to win a free pair of tickets to the next home game as you walk out the door. Reserve your lane online at craftaxethrowing.com or call 402-802-9696. Kraft Axe Throwing at 18th and N in Lincoln.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here one final time on the happy hour. 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. Just a reminder, we'll have Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity tomorrow at 2:30, as we will every Wednesday. She'll preview Nebraska's upcoming game. We'll probably throw some volleyball talk in there as well after their game. However, unfolds tonight against Stanford. And then
When
Thursday,
they win.
yes. And then Thursday, we will have Chris Plank from Sooner Sports Network. He's the sideline reporter for Oklahoma football. He'll join us at 2:30 on Thursday to preview the Sooners as well. Stay on the ticket here after we're done at 3, as DP will go one-on-one with George Foster. And then at 4, Jay Foreman, the Husker Hall of Famer, will join him as he does every day for Old School.
Old School.
Let's get to some.
What are you going to have to do for him today?
I don't know. I didn't have to do anything for them yesterday.
No singing, no nothing?
No singing, no rapping, no dancing.
Wow.
Which, can we talk about this whole dance?
People seem to be very furious about this.
I'm not happy. I didn't make the cut.
Well, really, what
my
you do is,
shoulder shimmy should have made the cut.
This is how Nick dances, people. This is how Nick dances.
It is.
This is when he sings and he just
I shimmy the shoulders. I don't move my body in separate parts.
And that's why you didn't make the cut.
I feel like I dance
Big
better
Sky
than
didn't
Sip.
make the cut either.
Yes, but I feel like I dance better than Sipple.
I don't know, man. Sip was saying that he has some
I don't
serious
care
moves.
what Sip was saying.
Sip was a boxer. He can move.
That doesn't mean anything.
He can move a little bit.
Whatever, man. I feel like I could dance better than Sipple, or move better than Sipple. All right, so let's get to some of your texts. Wrap up the show. Unnamed texter says Toure is an FCS All-American. I'm all in for recruiting the lower divisions for talent. Then a lot of texts all show long, all week, and it'll continue, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Our offensive line is the problem. Our offensive line is what's holding us back. No run game, and you're in trouble. Yeah, that's going to be the thing to look for Saturday.
Hey, Tulane only ran for 100 yards, so there's that.
Yeah. If Nebraska
I'm
wants
not
to
saying
keep it close, they're going to need a running back to go over 100
Yeah,
yards.
I mean, I'm not saying that's the strategy you want to take, but Tulane ran as a team. I think they had their quarterback and 3 or 4 running backs as a team went for 100 yards and only lost by 5.
I want to get to one thing with Jameis Winston before we close out, but first, Eric and Lincoln, who cares? Our best player came from an FCS team. Jerry Rice went to Mississippi Valley State. Big Ben went to Miami, Ohio. Doesn't matter where they came from. I'm happy we have him now. Good point, Eric. I agree with you. Faisal asks a question regarding Old School. He goes, Nick, are you ready for date night movie review?
Oh, is that going to be a thing?
I have not been told at all that that's a thing. I have not been briefed on what's going on.
Blind date?
So I kind of need to know.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Especially this week because
It's the fun part.
I'm kind of packing and moving out as well. So I'm just kind of I got a lot of stuff going on this week. So if I need to block off a couple hours of my Thursday night, I need to know.
What movies are even in the theaters right now? What movie would you go see?
Let's see.
I have no idea what's in theaters right now. So because that is also a big part of it. If you're going on a date, you got to know the movies. It has to be a good movie. You can't go watch Marley and Me if that was in the theaters. You'll cry your eyes out. It won't be great.
Oh, okay. It looks like movies playing near Lincoln. Shang-Chi and the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
It's a Marvel movie. It's very important.
I'm out.
I need to go watch that.
I'm out.
I need
Cry Macho.
I'm sorry, what?
Cry Macho.
Cry Macho?
Yes, it's a Western drama.
Sounds fantastic.
Malignant. It's a horror movie. Cop Shop. Free Guy, Candyman.
Oh, Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. Yes. Go watch that one.
Free Guy. Okay, it's a comedy. There's a chance there. There's a
also,
chance.
it's got Ryan Reynolds.
It's got potential.
Just saying.
Candyman, which is a horror movie. And then Dear Evan Hansen, which is a musical. No.
Ooh, musicals?
No.
You're not a musical guy?
I liked The Greatest Showman.
Showman.
I liked that a lot. I liked the soundtrack for that, but
with our guy Zac Efron.
It was more of a not Zac Efron.
Not Zac Efron. With our girl Zendaya.
No, what's the main guy?
I don't remember his name. He's Australian though.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, real quick, let's play this Jameis Winston interview. Jameis Winston might have had the best sideline interview after their win on Sunday with Fox Sports' Tom Rinaldi.
How did the defense in the running game give overall shape to the way this played out, Jameis?
Well, I just think we were prepared. You know, one thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
He just told us to be prepared. So, in the wise words of Jameis Winston's trainer, just make sure Nebraska is prepared.
Just be
for
prepared.
Saturday.
That's all you got to do is be prepared.
Todd Stove says on the text line, free guy is so good. So that might be a chance.
I'm excited. I really want to watch it.
I don't know if that's going to happen. Like I said, I might need to talk to DP right now when I see him in about 35 seconds to see if we're actually going to do that. There's a very good possibility that there's just no girl. There's just no girl.
Just you going solo to the movies? I've done it before.
I would do that. I would go solo to the movies. I'd
It's
probably
great. You get
enjoy
the popcorn to yourself.
Yeah, I'd probably enjoy it. So thank you for contributing on the Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline, as well as on the video stream. We'll be back tomorrow on September 15th. We're continuing the Oklahoma week. We'll dive into it deeper tomorrow.
Beat Oklahoma week.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Adios.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here